Since 1995, over 26,000 international students from all walks of life joined the British investigators' training courses in anomalous phenomena, in ufology, paranormal and supernatural, parapsychological study, anomalous phenomena, science, hypnotherapy, spiritualism, astrology, astronomy, cryptozoology, and many other areas. Our certified self-study courses will teach you how to assess, analyze, engage, formulate, document, and be cognizant of all types of phenomena, suitable for light workers and starseeds, curious personalities and inquisitive minds, skeptics alike and truth seekers. For more information, please visit www.stellaruniversity.com.
Now let's take a look at some photos and drawings which illustrate this important case in Virginia. Pictured here in the red sweater is Aurelina Augusta, and to the right, Mr. Eurico de Freitas. This is the farming couple who saw a submarine-shaped object at 1 a.m. on the morning of January 20th. The object was 5 meters off the ground, gray in color, and the size of a minibus. It emitted smoke, but there was no sound. The farm is approximately 10 kilometers from the Jardin en Dieu district. This is an artist's conception of that strange object coming down at 1 a.m. on January 20th, silently but yet stirring animals on the farm. The gentleman in the center of the photograph is a famous Brazilian journalist, Goulart de Andrade, speaking with farmer Eurico de Freitas and Aurelina Augusta. Also present in the picture at the right is Pacacini. It is the morning of January 20th, 8 a.m., when a call came to the Virginia Fire Department reporting that a strange monkey had been sighted and to please come take care of it. Even though the call came to the fire department at 8 a.m., in typical Brazilian style, they responded at 10 a.m. to go get the weird-looking monkey. This is the Virginia Fire Department headquarters. Corpo de Bombeiros de Virginia is its proper title. Bombeiros is Portuguese for firemen. This is number 3 Switzerland Street in the Jardin en Dieu district of Virginia. Just to the left is where the fire truck parked and where the children were getting rocks to throw at the creature down the slope. A Brazilian investigator stands at the top of the hill looking down the grassy slope towards the woods and the Santana district or neighborhood in the distance. It was on this slope where the creature was first sighted, and the firemen went down with their nets to try to retrieve the creature as it looked back at them. The creature tried to run from them, but was rather dazed and easy to capture. Two Brazilian investigators stand at the top of this hill. In the middle of the hill is where the creature was actually captured. This is another view down that grassy slope toward the woods with the Santana district in the background. The creature was captured rather easily with a net by the two firemen. Notice the three horn-like protuberances on its head and the three long fingers. Then the two firemen brought the creature in the net up the hillside. It was making a strange bzz, 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 bzz sound as they carried it. The creature was captured. It was in the net. But as they came up to the road, the firemen found that military personnel were waiting for them, and that the military personnel would now take the body. This was witnessed by builder's assistant Henrique Jose. He had seen the four firemen capture the creature between 10:30 and 11 a.m. that morning. He saw them put it into a wooden box and then hand it over to military personnel who came on the scene. He reports that the creature was taken to the Escola de Sargentos de Armas, the ESA, which stands for the School of Sergeant at Arms. Still in the net, the creature is loaded into the box by the military personnel. It was then loaded onto the military truck, where it was taken away. Here, two Brazilian investigators, Ubarajara Franco Rodrigues and Claude Covo, are at the site of the first encounter. As you can see, Varginha is hardly a village in the jungle. This is an industrial area with many nice neighborhoods. Just several blocks away from the first encounter is this area where houses are under construction. This was the area where the three young women saw the creature on the same day in the afternoon around 3:30 p.m. These are the three young women who made that sighting at 3:30 p.m. that Saturday afternoon, January 20th. In the forefront is Lillian, age 16, and behind her, her sister, Valkyria, age 14. They are sisters, and behind them is a young woman, Katia, age 22. All three were busy with their jobs cleaning houses, basically working as maids, and they were returning home from work. This is an artist's conception of the three women happily on their way home that day. Here the three young women decide to take a shortcut. The address of the building where the second creature was spotted is number 76 Benevenuto Bras Vieira Street, which adjoins empty land. They had no idea what they were about to see. Here, a Brazilian investigator crouches in the exact position and location where the creature was seen near the wall, as if it were trying to hide and not be seen by the young women. However, they did catch sight of the strange being and were startled, puzzled by what they were looking at. There, crouching next to the wall and not looking at them, was a strange creature which obviously to them was not any type of animal, nor was it any type of human being. They saw some kinds of protuberances on the head and some strange red veins on the back of the neck and shoulders. But they were not prepared for what they saw next. When it turned its head, they saw the large, glowing, red eyes with no pupils, and they knew that they were seeing something that to them felt like a demon or a devil. They were terrified by this sight. What on earth could possibly look like this? What could have such red glowing eyes and be alive and looking at them in such a way? They had no idea what they were seeing, and they never called it an alien. The three women did what just about anybody would do. They ran as fast as they could to get away, screaming and looking for someone that could come back and see what this thing was. But they just wanted to get away quickly. Here the two sisters, Liliane on the right, or on the left, and Valkyria on the right, are seen with their mother, who is on the far right in the red sweater. They found their mother and took her back to that spot where they had seen the creature. Now the mother did not see the creature, but she certainly smelled that strong ammonia that was in the air, plus she saw two strange tracks which she could not explain. She believed her daughters. She knew they had experienced something very different. 16-year-old Liliane made a drawing, and here she presents it to the famous investigator Ubarajara Franco Rodriguez, one of the two chief investigators, along with Paccaccini, on the Varginha case. This is a close-up of that drawing by Liliane, noting the three horn-like protuberances, the large eyes with no pupils, and she does not even note a mouth, but she certainly remembers the veins which seem to stick out on the back of the neck and shoulders. Here's a drawing made by one of the other two young women. Several months later, Dr. John Mack of Harvard University, who is noted for his studies in UFO abductions, just happened to be in Brazil attending a conference and was brought down to Varginha to meet the two sisters who had seen this creature. He interviewed them for over 2 hours and was quite impressed by their sincerity, their trauma, and their credibility. I talked with him recently in person, and he and I both agree that this case in Varginha is very important, very credible, and these two young girls especially very sincere and sane. In fact, he stated he would stake his diploma on this case. It is believed that that same creature was then witnessed by other civilians and rounded up by military officials later that evening between 10 and 11 p.m. It was first taken to an emergency room, but immediately rejected and taken to the public hospital, which is shown here, the regional hospital in Varginha. It only stayed there for several hours, though. This is an artist's conception of two military personnel taking the captured creature into the regional hospital. After several hours, the creature was transferred to a private hospital, the Humanitas Hospital, on the outskirts of Varginha. On Monday, January 22nd, a convoy of trucks parked here between 3 and 6 p.m. opposite the Humanitas Hospital. A witness told that at 6 p.m. that evening, a second creature was already dead. Witnesses tell that the creature was kept in a quarantined area, heavily guarded by military personnel. Many doctors were seen coming and going, and only a few nurses were able to attend this creature, which apparently died within a day's time. This is an artist's depiction of what witnesses described. The strong smell of ammonia was apparent. The creature was dead, but now there was a new problem. Who would get the body? What would be done with it? Would the military have it? Would the doctors get it? Or would they somehow share in a joint operation? This creature, with the oily brown skin and the big red eyes, was laid out in a box on what Paccaccini called tripods, or what we might call sawhorses. This is another artist's impression, according to testimony by a military witness, of the scene inside the hospital. Soldiers from the Escuela de Sargentos de Armas, or the ESA, filmed the scene on a JVC video camera, according to this witness. This second creature was laid in a small box. The military officials present were Lieutenant Colonel Olimpio Wanderley, Lieutenant Tenente Tiberio, Captain Ramirez, Sergeant Pedrosa, Corporal Vasallo, Privates Mello and Carrillo. Many of the doctors were closely watched by the military because they did not want any information to leak out, even though the doctors were mystified and intrigued by this creature. This is the gate at the back of the hospital where a military truck was reported to have pulled up, gone through the gate to get the creature that was now dead. This is how an artist depicted the military truck backing up to the cargo entrance in order to load the body onto the truck. 2 other military trucks were present, and the 3 left in a convoy, perhaps to confuse onlookers as to which truck actually contained the creature's body. At 4 a.m. on Tuesday, January 23rd, a convoy of military trucks and private vehicles, distinguished by a leading Volkswagen van, left Virginia for the Escuela Preparatoria de Cadets Campinas. This is the Army Cadet School at Campinas. This is a very big Army base situated approximately 300 kilometers from Virginia. Once the convoy arrived, the creature was transferred to the University of Campinas. There were many Brazilian investigators, and here are some of the more prominent ones. First we have Vittorio Paccaccini, Edison Boaventura. This is Uberjarara Franco Rodriguez. This is Claudio Cover. This is Gilda More, a psychologist who works with abductees in Brazil. She was the one who brought Dr. John Mack to see the 3 girls. Dr. John Mack is from Harvard University. There were other Brazilian investigators who assisted with this case. Many groups worked together on this most important Varginha case. Here, Vittorio Paccaccini meets the press, keeping the media abreast of the investigations that were going on. Sometimes he would brief them daily, sometimes weekly, but the information was well received, and Paccaccini did a good job. The Brazilian media did a good job presenting the facts to the people. This led to perhaps as many as 60% of the Brazilian people in believing that something quite serious had occurred. They were impressed by the number of witnesses, which numbered over 40 first-hand witnesses, and the press was clearly on the side of the people, trying to get to the bottom of this most interesting incident. Although this is a poorly framed picture, the lady on the far right is Terezinha Gallo-Klepf, age 67, who reported seeing the strange creature behind the Varginha restaurant when she was outside smoking a cigarette on April 21st. Her husband is on the left. A Brazilian investigator stands at the railing behind the back of the restaurant, posing where the creature did and how the creature stood. Brazilian investigator Claudia Covo holds the drawing that Mrs. Klepf made from her April 21st encounter. Although it's not a very good picture, it depicted brown skin and large, round, red eyes. The skin seemed to be glistening as if slicked down by oil. This drawing is better in quality, but still lacks the right colors, because she did describe a dark brown, oily skin. You can see how she depicts a glistening on top of the head, and here are the large red round eyes. It is unclear what this glow is behind the head, but this is the position that the creature was seen. Here again are the three young women who saw the creature crouching by the wall on Saturday afternoon, January 20th. Valkyria, age 14 on the left, Katia, age 22 in the middle, and Valkyria's sister Lillian, age 16 on the right. An interesting footnote: 3 months later, on April 29th, Monday, at 10:05 p.m., the mother of the two sisters was approached by a man who offered her money if she could persuade her daughters to lie and change their story. The mother refused. That is the end of the drawings and photographs. But now we are going to hear several comments and further details as presented by A.J. Givard, head of MUFON in Brazil, the Mutual UFO Network, and also the editor for UFO Magazine. Here then are the comments by A.J. Givard.
Yes, I'm A.J. Givard, 34 years old. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Brazilian UFO Magazine and Brazilian National Director for Mutual UFO Network. I'm also director for the Brazilian Center for Flying Saucer Research for about 11 years now. Yes, this is a new piece of evidence that we just reached, 3 or 4 weeks ago, because some military decided to talk more than we have already heard from other military. And this new witness have told us that he was participating in an operation of retrieving debris from a crushed saucer or a crushed object. He didn't know it was a saucer, a flying saucer. And this operation took place at the same night the alien creatures were spotted and seen and captured in Brazil. But now we know for sure that U.S. authorities have detected through the satellite system that an object was entering our atmosphere. And it informed the Brazilian authorities that the probable point of touchdown would be in our territory. And our military, our authorities, searched for the place where it could crash or touch down. Some radar controllers were being involved in this detection, and it was determined the touchdown point as south of the state of Minas Gerais, exactly Virginia. And the military closest to that place were sent to retrieve the debris and possibly retrieve eventual creatures that could be seen. What happened is in the morning of that day, they started seeing creatures around. Yes, the vehicle was described by the witness Eurico and Orinda, a couple who lives in a farm about 1 mile from where the object crashed. They described this object as being as a van or a minibus, something between a van and a minibus, trembling. They said it trembling like a curtain, like this, trembling like this. That their metal surface was trembling like that and releasing a smoke. And it was falling down, and it fell down actually. And they fall into that. Creatures started being seen by popular people around. Same night, first stop was in an emergency room in a small place, neighboring area of Virginia, when the doctor in charge on duty at that night looked like the creature. He said, no, we can't stay with this creature here. We don't have equipment to treat with terrestrial people. What do you say about extraterrestrial? Go away with it. And they took to a public hospital, the biggest public hospital in Virginia area, which is the regional hospital, where it was treated for 2 or 3 hours. Then it was taken to a private hospital, which is much more well equipped to receive treatment for any kind of disease. And it stayed there for 2 nights.
2 nights. Creatures were first taken to like an emergency room, trauma center, that kind of brief treatment. And you said there was a nurse who had 18 years experience?
Yes.
And she was interviewed?
She was interviewed, yeah.
What did she say basically about the brief visit there at that hospital?
Well, she was asked by the director not to say anything about it to anybody. But she agreed to talk to the investigators, and she said that what she saw was not from this world. It was a very strange creature. And lots of doctors were involved in treating the creature for the time being. By the time the creature was there, and everybody denied. And the director of the hospital, of course, denied. And other doctors denied. But a few of them decided to talk because they realized the importance of this case. 15 doctors were involved in observing, in treating the creature, and making the analysis of the creature. A few of them were not Brazilian at all, were American doctors, were sent to Brazil to check on it.
And was there any information on where the Americans stayed or how they were?
Yeah, we have a few information about the registering in the hotels. We have few names, but we believe those names are fake.
How many first-hand witnesses would you say all of the Brazilian investigators have now?
Yeah, from 30 to 40.
30 to 40?
Yes, about 17 military agreed to talk.
17?
17 military from all police. Military police, civilian police, army, and fire department. 17.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
This is a massive number of people talking about the same thing. It's amazing. Very rare. Yeah, we know that there's a lab where the autopsies have been performed since January by the team of Dr. Badam Palhares, which one of our best forensic, if not the best, forensic doctor now. And we found out that there is an underground facility under his lab, which is also a lab used by the Army, because we had lots of torture problems back to 10 or 20 years ago. And when someone were tortured, it was analyzing underground facility, which now is being used as a covered place for autopsy of the creatures, the alien creatures.
Now, that information came from what type of witness or source?
From people close to Dr. Badam Padaris, who don't want to be identified right now.
Right.
But these are people very close to him. And these same people told us that he is willing to talk, but he is about to wait all the rumors to cease. Until nobody remembers about the story. When it's not so evident, when he's not in such a delicate position, then he will be willing to talk privately with UFO researchers about what have happened.
And then to get straight, what did he actually say to researchers, and then what did she describe?
Well, she and other wives of the military was very upset because their husbands have to stay in the military installation for quite some time. And they start talking about what the hell. He can get off the place. He can get off the place because he has to take care of the creature and all the stuff and talk to people and do all those silly meetings. You know how women, military wives says about things like that, and more than that. And the Commander Sergio Lima have treated very badly the UFO researchers. He tried to deny everything many times, and he once called the press. He called the press because he was denounced as withholding information. So he called the press to defend himself, and he got in even deeper problems. He tried to get rid of the problem, but he attracted much more problem because the press is not stupid.
Yeah.
The press is not stupid at all, and they found out everything about the case. Yeah. That's what happened.
Well, and meanwhile, is saying that he's involved in these meetings, and she even knew what the meetings were about, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she started telling you, oh, what the hell, there's endless meetings about the ZT creature. Well, if you talk to people in Brazil, you find easily that 60% of these people believe that the government is withholding information, and these people believe that the case in Virginia really happened. Yes, it's because, you know what, our nature is that we didn't have a tendency to create stories and perpetuate stories. No. The press gave such good coverage to the case that people believe because they have seen the evidence in television and other medias. And I would say that 6% of population in Brazil believes in the case, yeah, definitely. Well, John, I have a personal confidence that very soon we're going to have fantastic surprises. Quoting the UFO researchers that are mostly involved with this case, they used to say, I thought I was doing UFO research all these years. Now I know that I was playing with UFO research. UFO research is what we have been doing now. Now
the real thing.
This is the real thing. This is the real. Nothing is compared to it. This is what they say, and I believe them.
What type of surprise are you?
That we are going to force people to talk more and more and more, and there will come a time when we will have so much information that we will drop all this information in the face of the military and say, now what you tell us? We have all this evidence. Are you still going on with this story that nothing happened? They will be forced to talk officially. And when they do that, it's going to be fantastic revelations. If our government releases those information, it's going to be something unique in the world. But on the other hand, you can see that national, and not national, but internationally, there is a big movement between people to force all governments to speak about UFOs. Like U.S. government, this is 1986. They are withholding information for more than 50 years now. They just can't handle all this information. They just can't hold information any longer. I believe that something is going to happen very soon. Either the UFOs will come more and more or something, I don't know. But I believe that the governments will very soon admit not only the existence of UFOs, but that they are here and now, and they are in some sort of mission toward us. They're not only observing. It's not only curiosity. There is a designated plan for approach Earth and Earthlings. And the government is, of course, aware of that much more than you or me, because we may have the willing to know everything about UFOs. We may have this state of mind that we have. We love to search these things, but it is the government who has the personnel, the labs, the communications, the transportations, the money, the satellites, the facilities. It's the government who has everything. And of course they know much, much, much more than we do. Well, we still are expecting to have more evidence and more details, not all evidence, but details about the crash. We have information. We concentrated on the capture, in obtaining information about the capture of the ETs. And the information about the crash just came 3 or 4 weeks ago, and now we're concentrating on that. I believe we're going to have lots of information about it very soon.
If this underground base, there are bodies there now, do you believe?
Yes, I believe there are at least two bodies, but probably more.
Now, does that come from eyewitness testimony?
Yes. The bodies were taken there. Okay. We know that for sure.
And was there any belief that any bodies or live beings were taken to the United States?
Yes, there is some evidence that suggests that at least one body was taken to the United States, to California, on January 26, 1996.
Interesting.
We don't have the confirmation for that, but we have information. Not confirmed, but we have.
Does the name Edwards Air Force Base ring a bell? All right, well, thank you very much, AJ.
Thank you, John.
This is an artist's impression of the creature, holding a notice. Hundreds of leaflets like this were distributed and posted around Virginia in an effort to hunt down further witnesses to either the original instant of the object coming down, here pictured on the right, on January 20th, or about the creatures. If people had spotted a similar creature, they were asked to come forward. The notice reads, "If you have some information about this case, talk with us. Thank you." Recently, just before this film was finished being produced, another witness did come forward. College student Hildo Lucio Galdino, 20, who lives in the Jardin and Deer section of Virginia, has reportedly told UFO investigators Ubaraja Franco Rodriguez and Vittorio Pacacini that he saw one of the alien survivors shortly after 8 a.m. on January 20th. Opening his bathroom window, Hildo looked out and saw, quote, "a creature with oily dark brown skin crouched in the alleyway," unquote. The alien, which Hildo described as having, quote, "very small hands with 3 extremely long fingers, kind of like a starfish," ran away when Hildo cried out. Many more witnesses shall be coming forth. Stay tuned as this case continues to develop. At the top of the hill, looking down the grassy slope towards the woods and the Santana district or neighborhood in the distance. It was on this slope where the creature was first sighted, and the firemen went down with their nets to try to retrieve the creature as it looked back at them. The creature tried to run from them, but was rather dazed and easy to capture. Two Brazilian investigators stand at the top of this hill. In the middle of the hill is where the creature was actually captured. This is another view down that grassy slope toward the woods with the Santana district in the background.
Since 1995, over 26,000 international students from all walks of life join the British investigators' training courses in anomalous phenomena, in ufology, paranormal and supernatural, parapsychological study, anomalous phenomena, science, hypnotherapy, spiritualism, astrology, astronomy, cryptozoology, and many other areas. Our certified self-study courses will teach you how to assess, analyze, engage, formulate, document, and be cognizant of all types of phenomena, suitable for light workers and starseeds, curious personalities and inquisitive minds, skeptics alike and truth seekers. For more information, please visit www.stellaruniversity.com.
Now let's take a look at some photos and drawings which illustrate this important case in Virginia. Pictured here in the red sweater is Oralina. The creature was captured rather easily with a net by the two firemen. Notice the three horn-like protuberances on its head and the three long fingers. Then the two firemen brought the creature in the net up the hillside. It was making a strange bzz, 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 bzz sound as they carried it. The creature was captured. It was in the net. But as they came up to the road, the firemen found that military personnel were waiting for them, and that the military personnel would now take the body. This was witnessed by builder's assistant Henrique Jose. He had seen the morning of January 20th, 8 a.m., when a call came to the Virginia Fire Department reporting that a strange monkey had been sighted and to please come take care of it. Even though the call came to the fire department at 8 a.m., in typical Brazilian style, they responded at 10 a.m. to go get the weird-looking monkey. This is the Virginia Fire Department headquarters. Corpo de Bombeiros de Virginia is its proper title. Bombeiros is Portuguese for firemen. This is number 3 Switzerland Street in the Jardin and Deer district of Virginia. Just to the left is where the fire truck parked and where the children were getting rocks to throw at the creature down the slope. A Brazilian investigator stands in Augusta, and to the right, Mr. Eurico de Freitas. This is the farming couple who saw a submarine-shaped object at 1 a.m. on the morning of January 20th. The object was 5 meters off the ground, gray in color, and the size of a minibus. It emitted smoke, but there was no sound. The farm is approximately 10 kilometers from the Jardin and Deer district. This is an artist's conception of that strange object coming down at 1 a.m. on January 20th, silently but yet stirring animals on the farm. The gentleman in the center of the photograph is a famous Brazilian journalist, Goulart de Andrade, speaking with farmer Eurico de Freitas and Oralina Augusta. Also present in the picture at the right is Pacacini. It is the morning